In Ganawage, is there such a thing called access to information or freedom of information when it comes to government documents? Regan Jacob Stock investigates how community members can acquire certain documents.
Do you feel that Kahnawage's local government should hand over records that community members feel they have a right to see? How can Kahnawake Rono be assured that there are checks and balances within the system to ensure that our local politicians or administration don't use every trick in the book to avoid certain documents from being revealed? Canada does have an access to information law, but does it apply here in Kahnawake? According to MCK press attaché Joe Delarone, he didn't seem to think the law applied to our community. However, the Mohawk Council does have its own policy in terms of access to information. Delarone explains.
Simply put, you come by and ask if you just ask for permission so that it can be set aside, because when you talk about minutes, we're talking about there's a lot of documents here, and they're not to leave the building. So basically, it's to arrange to have a place for people to view them and supervise, so that no one's taking documents and then you have missing minutes or things like that. Even though there are redundancies, still it's just a matter of keeping things organized.
Now, not everything is available to community members, though.
Well, there are issues that always come to the table where it involves private citizens. Sometimes there's lawsuits or things like that that are private matters, and those really are no one's business except for the person who's involved. So those are always off limits, and for all the right reasons. I mean, if it was you or me, we'd say the same thing. That's my own private concern. Say for example, it's something like somebody's land is 5 feet over and there's a dispute and it went to council. Well, really, that's no one's business except the people who are involved. So that's what a lot of that is about.
Okay. Delarone also says you have to be a community member to access public documents. However, the Mohawk Council doesn't receive many requests from Kahnawake Rono. Other organizations that are deemed a public institution, such as the Court of Kahnawake or the Peacekeepers, have similar policies in place. Since the court is public, community members do have the right to access weekly court rolls and attend court proceedings. Now, whether or not you're from the community, anyone can access information regarding convictions or a judgment, but not personal files. As for the Kahnawake Peacekeepers, a file would only become public once an individual is charged and it went to court. Warrants are also public record. The local police blotters are also legal because no names are used. So how does Kahnawake fare in comparison to other communities or city? Well, there is no real way to measure for sure, since Kahnawake tends to develop its own laws. However, our research indicates that most organizations or institutions within the community are fairly transparent. For Zawana Ordiwage, I'm Regan Jacob Stock.